Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. In today's video I'm going to be doing an unboxing and a setting up of the Grossmann Fat cab. Now a couple of weeks ago James and myself did a video on James's ISO cab, which was the Grossmann SG box, which is the older version of this. But what we didn't do in the video is to show you how to set it up and how easy it is to actually set up and get a great sound out of this unit. So the boxes have just turned up. I'm going to unbox it, get the speaker in it, get some mics in it, and we're going to see how it sounds. Now when you order this, it comes in two separate boxes, so let's just open them up. Now I should say that because of Brexit, what I didn't realise I'd have to pay is import duty. So just be aware that when you order these in the UK, I think it works out to be about £80 for the actual import duty as well as buying the cab. So be aware of that when you're buying one of these. Look at that, that's cool. Right, so in the first box, oh, God, they're heavy. So first of all, we've got the top of the actual ISO cab. Now it's filled with this acoustic foam, if I can just sort of focus that on the cameras. That's going to stop some of the resonance inside the cab, and it's also going to reduce some of the noise that's going to be coming out of the cab. Now this one is slightly different to James's. This is the improved version, and you're going to get a little bit more noise reduction or sound reduction in the room with the Fat cab than the old SG box. Now what I didn't also realise I was going to get was this. This is a 12 to 10 inch speaker converter. So what you can do with the Fat cab, if you have a 10-inch speaker, you can mount a 10-inch speaker and it fits on the 12-inch speaker hole. So if you do like or do prefer 10-inch speakers, you can do that as well with this cabinet. Let's do the second box. It's funny, the bottom is actually lighter than the top. I've got to say, it's been really well packaged. So, you know, if you are ordering this from Germany, which is where they're made, you're not really going to have any problems with any of the couriers because it's packed so well. Here is the bottom of the unit. Now, inside the box, I think we talked about these on the last video, but you get these rubber feet. So these are going to stop. Basically, they're going to decouple the ISO cab from your floor, so you're going to get even more noise reduction. You're not going to get any of that bass end that's going to be transmitting through your floor and into the room. So you need to screw them on. I've got to say, the actual build quality of this is so good. It's been so well done. So inside the actual cab, now this is where the speaker goes. It's got this quick release system where you could basically just whip out a speaker and put a new speaker in, but I'm going to be putting a speaker in it. There's going to be another video where I'm going to be using a bunch of different Celestion speakers. We're going to be using a Celestion Gold and a different speaker, and we're going to be comparing the different sounds, and I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to remove speakers and add a new speaker just to get all the different sounds. But yeah, anyway, we've got, with this particular version, we've got our mic stands, as it were, our speaker cables. Now what is really great about this, let me show you. I'm going to get a different, put up a speaker. So I've got a speaker here. Now on the back of the speaker, we've got our cable mounts. Now what I can do is just to clip these on the back of the speaker. There we go. So what we can do with these is I can set up all my different speakers with these cables and then just whip one out and replace it with a different speaker, which, as I said, I'm going to be doing in a different video. But at the moment I'm going to be using this, which is a Celestion Creamback. Now the speakers that I've ordered, this is a 16 ohm speaker. The speakers that I've ordered are 8-ohm speakers, so it's going to be a lot easier for me to sort of transfer it over with all my different amplifiers that you can see in the background. But yeah, let's put this in and then I'll be back in a minute. So here's my speaker, and I've already fitted these quick release speaker cables. So just plug in these banana plugs here and then drop the speaker into the ISO cab. Now we've got these securing brackets, so if you really want to make sure it's nice and secure so it doesn't rattle about, and that's literally it. The next thing we need to do is to mount the microphone stand. So what I'd like to do with this is probably to use 2 different microphones. Now I've got the choice of using 3 mics on the cab. To be honest, I rarely use 3 microphones. I don't think I've ever used 3 microphones on a cab, but you have got that option there if you do want to do it. I'd probably be using 2 and maybe just using 1 mic at a time, but we'll see how it goes. So let's mount the mic stands and we'll see how we go. Now, as we explained in the last video, we've got the 3 different mic cables, so I can stuff them back into the cabinet just for neatness, that's so things don't rattle about. And as James mentioned in the last video, these are colour coded, so we've got a black, a grey and a white one, and these correspond to the outputs, the microphone outputs we've got on the front of the cab. So we've got the brackets attached, the speakers in, all we need to do now is to attach the microphones. Now what I thought I'd do, as I've actually got 3 microphone brackets, I thought I'd attach 3 different microphones. And then if you do it that way, I guess what you could do is, even if you're just recording through 1 microphone, you can get all the different flavours of the different mics just by plugging in to the different mic inputs or outputs on the front. So first of all, let's attach this one here. This is a Sontronics Delta. This is a ribbon mic, it's an active ribbon mic. Sounds great on guitar cabs. So this is my normal go-to guitar recording mic, that and a 57. So let's get this connected. Now one of my other favourite mics is a Shure SM7B. Now I'm trying to cram in quite a lot of microphones into quite a small space, so we'll see if we can actually get all this to fit. Just something to bear in mind when you're actually setting up your microphones, and this is relevant to any miking of any guitar cab, is just being aware of phase issues. Now the way that I normally try and deal with this is to try and get the diaphragms of each of the microphones lined up, so you're not going to get any sort of timing issues between the speaker cabinet and the diaphragms. And lastly, I thought I'd stick in an SM57 if I can find some space for it. And actually there is a perfect amount of space for all 3 microphones, even though 2 of them are quite large microphones. I've got all of the microphones in position facing the speaker inside the ISO cab, but I've got the lid off. Now I'm going to turn off the actual microphone so you can hear what it sounds like in the room, and it sounds like this. As we demonstrated in the last video, that's incredibly loud in the room. But if I put the top on the ISO cab, and now play the same thing, you can hardly hear it at all, and actually the strings on my guitar are louder than what I'm hearing from the ISO cab. Now we've got 3 different microphones inside the ISO cab, and I can switch on and off the different mics. So first of all, if I just switch off the SM57, so this is the Sontronics Delta, the ribbon mic. and it sounds great. We're not getting any of that sort of weird comb filtering which you'd probably expect from having an enclosed cabinet. Now if I switch that microphone off and I bring in the SM57, it sounds like this. They both sound great on their own. The SM57 lacks all of that bottom end, all that really nice sort of warm frequencies that we're getting from the ribbon mic. So what we can now do to blend the two, if I turn them both on, now combining the two mics, which is where all the magic happens, we're getting all the body from the ribbon mic and we're getting all the higher mid frequencies, or the nose as some people call it, from the SM57. Now I could, if I wanted to, plug in all three different microphones, but I've only got two plugged in at the moment. So what I'm going to do is to switch over the 57 with the SM7B. If I solo the SM7B, and now solo the Sontronics Delta. And then bring both in. Now, even though I'm a massive fan of attenuators and load boxes, there is nothing like plugging into a real speaker and having the amplifier sort of drive into that speaker and actually miking up the speaker and hearing the sound of a real speaker, because that is basically what we're used to. And that's what I'm able to achieve with the ISO cab. And I'm able to achieve that in almost silence, where I can't really hear the ISO cab. So what that enables me to do is to be able to record, to mic up that speaker and to record in the same room as what I'm going to be monitoring my track in, and that makes a massive difference. Anyway, I really hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did get something out of it, don't forget to like and subscribe, click on the bell button, and you'll be notified of any future video that comes out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.